You ever walk into your own property, expecting to see clean, empty space, and instead find a chaotic pile of someone else's junk? I'm talking deflated Santas, broken chairs, and what looked like an actual shrine to ceramic cats. That was me, staring into Unit 17 of my storage facility. And the best part? The woman responsible didn't even try to deny it. She told me, and I quote, "You should be more community-minded." 2 weeks later, I sold every last item in that unit at a public auction, right in front of her furious bright pink pantsuit. Name's Arthur Wilkins. I'm a retired civil engineer, and I take pride in three things: my paperwork, my peace, and my property. I bought a modest little commercial plaza on the edge of Ash Grove Creek about 5 years back. Came with 20 self-storage units at the rear. Wasn't the main draw. Just figured they'd make some easy passive income. I manage 'em myself. Know every renter, every lock, every payment. That's why when I saw a shiny new padlock on Unit 17, a unit that should have been empty, I knew something was off. Checked my records. No tenant, no lease, no payment, no nothing. So I posted a firm but polite notice. Gave 'em 48 hours to contact me or clear out. 2 days later, lock's still there. No call, no message. Now, I've dealt with squatters before, but this felt different. Less desperate, more entitled. So, I got creative. Installed a game camera I usually use for deer tracking. Mounted it real discreetly across from Unit 17. And what did I catch? Well, let's just say, it wasn't a lost college kid storing old furniture. It was Karen Halbrook, president of the Birchwood Trails HOA, the neighborhood that sits like a smug little kingdom right next to my property. Bleached blonde hair helmeted in place, driving her usual gleaming white Escalade. I also saw her sidekick, Greg, the HOA's VP, carrying what looked like a full PA system and some judging ribbons. They were loading the unit like it was their personal attic. I wasn't even mad at first. I was fascinated. This wasn't ignorance. This was ego. Karen had always been a thorn, sending letters about my trees, encroaching, even when they weren't, acting like my land somehow belonged to her fiefdom. But this was a new level of arrogance. So I marched over to their fancy community clubhouse the next day. Karen was directing some poor soul where to place a doormat, like she was hosting a royal ball. I kept it civil. "Ms. Halbrook," I said, "Unit 17 in my facility is currently full of what I believe to be your HOA's property, but there's no lease, no payment." She blinked, bored, and said, "Oh, that. Yes, Greg handled it. We needed some overflow space for festival stuff. It's just temporary." I said, "Temporary or not, it's still my property. You need a lease." She gave a little laugh. "Surely you can spare one unit for the good of the community." That's when I knew talking wouldn't work. Karen saw herself as queen of the neighborhood, and me, just the guy with keys. So I went back home and got to work. And step 1, documentation. Sent her a certified letter, clearly outlined her options. Either vacate within 10 business days or sign a lease at $150 per month. Backdated to the day her hairspray brigade broke in. Included photo evidence, lease forms, even emailed a copy to the HOA account. Overkill? Maybe. But when you deal with people like Karen, Every piece of paper matters. 9 days passed. On the 10th, a letter arrived, signed only by Karen. She offered me $25 a month for temporary and infrequent use, and had the nerve to say she hoped this would foster cooperation between our properties. Oh, she was bold. I didn't reply. Instead, I watched as Greg tried opening the lock on Unit 18. Didn't get in. My locks are top-notch, but it was clear they were eyeing expansion. That's when I sent my final notice. 7 days to remove the stuff or sign a lease, or I'd consider the property abandoned, and per state law, it would be sold at public auction. Karen didn't blink. In fact, she emailed me, accused me of harassment, told me they'd get to it after the festival. That was it. Gloves were off. I called my lawyer, Ben Carter. Sharp guy, real estate pro. Sent him everything, photos, letters, the whole saga. Ben chuckled and said, "Arthur, this woman's a bully, but you've got her nailed." So I followed the law to the letter. Printed public auction notices, posted one on Unit 17, sent more certified letters, took out ads in the paper, and even snapped a photo of the door. Bulging with Karen's holiday chaos, the auction was set. Saturday morning rolled in bright and clear. We had about 20 people there, mostly curious neighbors, some pickup truck folks hoping for treasure. I'd hired Mike, a professional auctioneer. Solid, no-nonsense guy. At 9:53 a.m., like clockwork, Karen's Escalade screeched into the lot. She came storming out, face already red, with Greg and the HOA treasurer, Doris, trailing behind her. She marched right up, yelling, "You can't sell our property! This is theft!" I didn't flinch. "Ms. Hellbrook, you were given multiple legal notices. This auction is fully lawful. Here's the documentation." She sputtered something about community artifacts, but Mike stepped in, asked if she had proof of payment. She didn't. He shrugged and said, "Then we start in 2 minutes." Karen fumbled for her phone. "I'm calling the police." I smiled. "Please do." She did. Cops came. 2 officers. Listened to her rant, then reviewed my binder. Officer Miller looked up and said, "Ma'am, this is a civil matter. Mr. Wilkins followed proper procedure." Karen nearly exploded. "He's breaching the peace," Miller said flatly. "Only one raising their voice here is you, ma'am." That shut her up for a minute. Then Mike unlocked the unit and rolled up the door. A whole suburban garage sale spilled out. Sporting goods, decorations, grill, and in the corner, boxes clearly labeled Hellbrook Attic. The auction started. A grill sold for $250. Golf clubs, Karen screamed they were custom, went for $400. I watched her pride crumble piece by piece. After everything was sold, I handed Doris the leftover cash from the auction, per law. Karen refused to touch it, just hissed, "You'll regret this." Oh, but the real fire hadn't even started. A week later, I get served. Karen, under the HOA's name, is suing me, accusing me of theft, trespass, conversion, you name it. Wants damages in the tens of thousands. Her mistake? Thinking I'd get scared. I called Ben. He was thrilled. Said, "Arthur, we're about to tear her apart." We filed a countersuit for legal fees and started discovery. That's when the truth unraveled. Turned out, the HOA board never approved the use of my unit. No votes, no meeting minutes. Most items in the unit weren't even HOA property. They were Karen's, golf clubs, her husband's, decorations, her attic overflow. Greg cracked first. Said Karen told him I'd never dare take action. Doris admitted she suspected personal use, but was afraid to speak up. And then came Karen's deposition. Ben showed her photo after photo, boxes marked Halbrook Attic, items clearly labeled personal. She tried spinning some story about lending things to the community, but it didn't fly. We had proof, lots of it. By the time her own lawyer realized they'd walked into a buzzsaw, it was too late. They dropped the case, paid all my legal fees, and Karen got crushed. HOA members held a vote. She was removed. The new board opened a full audit and discovered she'd been misusing HOA funds for years. Contracts to friends, shady reimbursements, and of course, using my storage unit as her personal dump. Karen sold her house at a loss and left town. Her Escalade hasn't been seen since. The HOA replaced her with a quiet accountant named David. Nice guy. He actually came by to apologize in person. Said, "Some people just can't handle power." I just smiled. Some people can't. So, who was really in the wrong here?